Right. So, second time round. Good to have a chat again. I enjoyed the last
Yes,
one.
mate. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Same.
so what I want to chat to you about today, some of the best players you played with. It'd be good to get some of these guys on actually and chat to them and
Mm.
see what their experience are in football.
And then say who the best players you played with, and they don't say my name.
Yeah. It's normally the case though, isn't it?
Yeah.
The best players that you play with have probably played a lot higher, and then
Mm.
it'll kind of go on and on and on. So,
Yeah.
who's the first one that springs to mind for you then?
Um. There's a couple really. Because obviously there's like just out and out sheer good players, and obviously I was quite fortunate to come through obviously at Bournemouth during like the rapid rise. So you had boys that were there from League Two all the way, developed with the club and obviously succeeded with the club.
Mm.
But then at the same time, obviously we've had people that come and go. We've had people that are, unbelievable, and then maybe just not reached the potential that they should have.
Yeah.
Um, and then obviously since being in non-league and stuff, you get like loans and stuff as well that come down. So you get a couple of them that are, like they're very good as well. So I'd probably say like the most notable one that everyone will sort of be aware of is Danny Ings.
Yeah.
Obviously back at Southampton now, but obviously went what was at Bournemouth when I was there. Went on to Burnley, went from Burnley, done really well at Burnley to I think he went to Liverpool from there, and
Yeah.
then obviously had a bit of a problem with injuries and stuff, and ended up going to Saints. Where, to be fair to him, like it's back home. I think that was always going to be on the cards. To be honest, like it's where he's from, it's where his family's from. So yeah, in terms of best overall player, but also best naturally gifted player as well.
Mm.
Um, Someone I remember he was in youth team, or I was in under 16. He was a second year in a youth team, and obviously we played up and stuff. And he'd been out with like a torn abductor for so long, like it's not even like that the inner ones. And he come back in his first game, literally like I think he received the ball in the chest, dropped it over the one person's head, got it on the other side, kept it in the air, dropped it over another person's head, dropped it over a third person's head, volleyed it top left corner. I was just like, who's this? Like, who's this guy? Like, because he'd been out for quite a long time, and I joined late, so I was like still new, so I didn't really know who he was at the time. And then obviously he done that, and I was like, okay, like now I know who he is. And then obviously we just kind of, he got a pro, and I then moved into scholars and stuff, and he was in and around the first team and bits and pieces like that. So, that was So that is good. It was good. He's very naturally gifted and quite a down to earth, humble kind of guy as well. Obviously, I moved to Southampton for a little bit, and when he's obviously come back there, I just bumped into him in Zara. I hadn't seen him for a while, hadn't spoken to him for a while. You get some people that would be sort of big time Charlies now, earned millions of pounds, whatever. Don't remember certain people, but he we started to have a chat, started speaking, said about going out for some food or whatever, and he's a good guy. He's a good guy as well. But as I said, just naturally gifted, mate. Like just absolutely naturally gifted, and it was always going to be the case. If you get him fit, he's always going to score goals, no matter who he plays for.
Yeah.
So I'd say that he was probably the one that massively sticks out, really, for me. I don't know about yourself.
No, I never played with Danny Ings. So, no. So for me, in terms of notable names, so I had a bit of time at Fulham when I was 19, and some of the lads coming through, the youth team going into first team football. So a lad called Darren Pratley. They just signed him from Arsenal.
Oh yeah.
He was back in 2004.
Mm.
I think he's still playing league football now. And
Preston, I think, or Bolton.
Yeah, he was at Bolton last I saw. Yeah. He scored from the halfway line in a playoff semi-final for Swansea when they got promoted.
Happy days.
But he was a nice lad as well. And he went on to do really well. So in terms of notable names, it was him, but I wasn't there for that long, so it's difficult to kind of say how much those kind of guys stand out when you're only there with them for a few weeks. And because he was in and around the first team, I didn't play too many games with him, just trained with him a fair bit. So yeah, probably him. But if I look at like non-league level, we had a lad called Ben Gladwin, who
QPR, when the QPR Swindon,
he's at MK Dons now, and he was always talented, but he was the season we got promoted with Marlow, would have been about 2021.
Yeah.
Raw, yeah. Very talented, but quite lightweight. Their games where he'd go missing, their games where he'd turn up. And then we came back from ready for pre-season, ready for the next league. Bear in mind, we're going up a league. And the guy was just another level. So much fitter than he ever was, so much stronger than he ever was. And with his confidence grew as well. And then you really started to see his quality. And I mean, there's one game in particular we won 4-1. I think we were home to Northwood. I can't remember the team if it was them, but I think it was home to Northwood. Anyway, he's picked the ball up about 40 yards out, dribbled it on a bit, and stuck it in top bins, and then done exactly the same thing 5 minutes later.
So it's not luck.
Yeah, it was unreal. And that epitomised it. He won us so many games, but by the time we got to, I think it was September, October, there was a lot of clubs looking at him, and he eventually went on his trial with Swindon, and the rest is history, as they say.
I think that's the thing, though, like, you come across certain people like that, and I think you just know.
Yeah.
So even like, obviously you spoke about Ingsley and stuff, and unfortunately there's another lad at Bournemouth at the time, even when Danny was there, that lad called Donald McDermott, who, mate, like, the potential that the kid had was unbelievable. Like I'm talking like top prem sort of level. He had all this potential in the world, but he just, I don't know what it was. I don't think anyone maybe got through to him. He was an Irish lad, so I know he missed home quite a lot. But he almost just needed that guidance, and he just, I suppose, didn't get it in a way. And I know that I sort of stayed in touch with him when he left, because he went AWOL. We was at Bournemouth, and we was all training, and the gaffer was like, where's Donald? I don't know. Found out sort of like 3 weeks later when he returned, like he returned as if nothing had happened. Like, morning, Gaffy, all right, boys. I was like, well, where you been for 3 weeks? He's like, I just went back to Ireland. Like, the tennis phone, I couldn't get hold of him, like nothing. So obviously that was a big downfall really for him. And then I know he struggled a little bit, so to get another club after that, went back to Ireland, done really well. He actually joined Salford for about a month when they first started the whole documentary stuff.
Yeah.
And I think they knew straight away, and then he ended up signing for Rochdale. I remember watching an interview, and he was just like, I've made mistakes, I've learned, and I need to really get my career back on track. And I mean, I don't know what he's doing now, but he was at Rochdale for a little bit, and I think he left. But yeah, it's a shame because, mate, the things you'd be training with him or playing games, and just the things he would do, like, well, unbelievable. And you just be like, how you done that? But the best thing about it was, obviously, I was quite young at the time. He was still only like 21, 22, and I was sort of 19. So he was still young himself, but he, with all the ability he had, mate, he was down to earth. Like, always got on with that, the younger lads. Like, always helped them, always tried to give them advice. Love D squared, like every day, mate. Come in, D squared hat, D squared jumper, D squared trousers, D squared, like, just absolute D squared all the time. And obviously that's not, and that ain't cheap, mate. So it's almost like he had, I think, coming through Man City, he probably had too much money, like too early, and I just think it messed with him. And I think he might probably say that as well. But we'll talk about that sort of stuff another time in terms of money and what they get. So that was one. That was obviously, that's one that it's a shame really, because like I said, he had so much potential, so much ability. More than any of the other Bournemouth lads that were in the team at the time, that obviously all went together to the Prem. And then I was at Bath for a little bit, and there's a lad come on loan from Reading, goalkeeper called Luke Southwood. Carr schooled with him, got on well with him, like really good lad, like turned into sort of like a really good mate as well during my time there. And like, you just knew, like, he come in off the back of winning the World Cup with the under-20 squad with England. Obviously, he didn't play, but he was involved in the squad. He was like third choice keeper and stuff. But yeah, he just come off the back. So I thought, first things first, for a kid to have just won the under-20 World Cup, to then happily and openly sort of come down to a Conference South level and play, when a lot of people, especially that age, would be sort of a bit too big time. Like, you look at the people like that he was in the squad with, like Calvert-Lewin, Ademola Lookman, all these people. It's easier for them, I suppose, to break into the first team and say him. And he just come, mate, and it was just one of those. You just knew, like, straight away. You was like, this kid's serious. Like, he's seriously good. It was frightening. And with every game that he played, he just grew and grew and grew, and his confidence grew. And mate, he was like 19, 20, but he was like the way he was, the way he conducted himself, the way he wasn't. It was as if he was like 29 and played over 400 games. He was just mature above his years. And then obviously he then went back to Reading after, he picked up player of the season, manager's player of the season, fans, like he picked up all the awards as a goalkeeper. And bearing in mind, we didn't have a bad season that year either. And yeah, you just knew. He went back to Reading, signed a new deal with Reading, and he went out on loan to Hamilton this year. So he stayed at Reading last year for season, and he went on loan to Hamilton this year. Didn't play for a little bit, and then within his first 3 games, he got a draw at I think Celtic Park, and then he got a win away at Rangers in his first 3 games for Hamilton, and smashing it, like absolutely smashing it down there now. So it's obviously for myself, it's really good to see.
Yeah.
Still keep in touch with him every now and again as well. But yeah, so I think with non-league players, you just know, man. Like literally, like you just know. I think. I think you see more and more people now are making the step up from the sort of like non-league to the league.
Yeah.
So it is unbelievable. But like I said, I think you just know. Like you just know. You can just tell. It's not necessarily even just about ability. It's about the persona and their personality and how they conduct themselves. And he was just one of those that you just strive to be best. Like, I'll 100% say now he will go on and play first year in football for Reading. Well, 100%. No ifs or buts, really. It's just a matter of time, I think.
Well, they look like they're going to be bringing more kids through anyway.
Well, they have to, I think. Yeah. So they got not a great deal of money, but for him, he's not the biggest of keepers. So straight away, people are like, "Oh, how is he with the physical side?" So he's unfortunately he had to he come to Bath in the Conference South. He then went to Eastleigh the second half of last year. Absolutely smashed it. Was on absolute fire. Done really well there. And then obviously he was going to go to League Two, but he ended up going to Hamilton. So he's almost like and I spoke to his goalkeeping coach at the time called James Bittner, and he was saying that he has to basically, because if people always got a question mark about his height, he has to go up one by one and just tick them off to show everyone how ready he is. And I think that's just the plan with him at the moment. I think that's what he's doing. So obviously, I hope he does really well.
Also, I suppose kind of knowing that as well must be really helpful, that you've got that question mark over you and there's nothing that he can do about it other than he's got to go out and perform. So if he's just got to show
just prove people wrong,
just crack on and
100%. There was sorry, just quickly before I forget, there was a friend of mine who I played with. He's ex-footballer, but he owns the company Fresh Ego Kid, and so he owns that company. And then another friend of mine who I played with when I was at Braintree in the conference is a guy called James Mully, and he owns a events company in London called The Hangout. And basically every year they do like a backyard game. So all the boys are like London based and stuff. They do like a backyard game. So Marvin knows some geezer with mega money. He's literally got 11-a-side pitch in his back garden, and they got a team together. It was the year of the Grenfell Tower. So they had Team Fresh Ego Kid that Marvin put together, and then I didn't know him at the time. This was literally just before I signed for Bath, and then you had Team Hangout that James put together. So we played a game once, and obviously there was like Mustafa Carriol, Jamal Lowe, like a couple of like Harley Dean, a couple of like obviously league players and stuff like that, mixed with a couple of non-league players and that. Played the first game. We turned up with about 14 players, right, for Mully's team, Hangout. And then Marvin's turned up Team Fresh Ego with about 21 players. So obviously we played that game. We lost at the time. Was I think 3-1, and I played centre half with a guy called Leon Skinner, who does the Hangout with James, and is also like they're all tied in with Anthony Joshua and stuff. And anyways, come back. We was like, no. Grenfell Tower happened. Obviously, mad, sad, like how it is. And basically, they got together and said, look, like there was a big question mark over the result because of the difference in squads.
Yeah.
So basically that happened, and then we basically put on a big charity game for the Grenfell thing. So we had like Arsenal TV come and done the commentary, and we said like we capped it I think at like 16 players and all the rest of it for each team. Anyways, we were all rocking up and stuff, and then just see some big G-Wagon turn up, like Matt Black G-Wagon, and everyone's like, all right, who's driving this then? And a couple of people get out. I don't really know them. And then you just see Ravel Morrison pop out the back seat. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I'm a Man United fan, so obviously I grew up and I was like, I knew this geezer was serious.
Mm.
I know Marvin's like friends with him and stuff anyway. So we start playing, and mate, the geezer's on another level, like another level, like honestly, unbelievable. Like I spoke about the guy earlier, like yeah, like Ravel for some reason, the reason why it's only down to him why he's not a starter for England. Like trust me, like the guy is an absolute joke.
Yeah, what I've heard about him, and your kind of clips you've seen, like it. I mean, without doubt, he's got the quality, isn't he, to play whatever.
Mate, phenomenal. I don't know him personally. Obviously we played that game and stuff, and I played against him in the backyard game, and like it's all on YouTube. Like we recorded everything, so you can see like highlights now on YouTube if everyone want to check it out. But he like, I think he'd just been in Mexico at the time, and I think the problem is that no one would be willing to pay the wages that he was on. Was come back, and then obviously I know he went to Sheffield United this year, but I don't know, mate. I was thinking he's going to go to Sheffield United and he was going to start sort of like hit the ground running and put his mark in. And for some reason, obviously, it just didn't happen for him. And he's obviously gone out on loan to Middlesbrough. But mate, like scary good. And it's only crazy to think that like Ferguson, one of the best managers ever, turned around and said like this is the best player he's ever seen. And you think about the people he's worked with, and people like Paul Pogba used to look up to Ravel. So like, look at where Pogba is and stuff like that. Like in that just magnifies just how much ability that guy's got. But again, there's so many stories within football, man. Like, you know, there's people with all the ability in the world that don't make it. There's people with no ability that make it. So it's not. There's loads of goods and bads really. So yeah. But no, I just had to say that because yeah, mate, crazy good.
Yeah, funny you mentioned that. Actually, I had a football manager that he played pro, and he always used to say that like he was never the best. He was never the best player, but he was good at. He had a good left foot on him. And he was good at winning the ball, and then he'd give it to his left winger. Back in the days, he played 4-4-2, and that's all he done. He said, "I win the ball, give it to my winger," and he was decent. Mate, so made him. Look. But you
people make a living.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I speak to James Harper, like he's become a good friend of mine. We played together for a little bit. He's become a really good friend of mine. Obviously, mega legend at Reading. Like played over so many appearances across the Premier and the Champ. And mate, he just said like he says some of the players right that he's played with that have gone on and played unbelievably well. Or he said some of the players he's seen. He goes, mate. He goes, there's more talent in non-league, but he just says literally like you'll just get a player that does everything you want him to do. So simple. So like you said, he'll win the ball. He'll just pass it 5 yards to someone else. So look, here you go. But they know what their limits are. Do you know what I mean? So they know that they're really good. Like I said, they're really good at winning the ball. So they'll win the ball back. Then they just pass it to the person. Like, here, I'm midfielder. You go and, do you know what I mean? You don't necessarily want your centre half, for example, even nowadays, to be going, get the ball, trying to really smash balls into the front man. And don't get me wrong, like, if you can do that, like, great. But you're not going to be seeing that all the time. What you see a lot of the time now is defenders get the ball, they give it to a little holding midfielder because that's the guy that runs the game. That's the guy that's got the ability to do those passes or to hit those 40, 50 yards. So, you know, they know their role in the team and they know what's expected of them. And they you know, and that's why they thrive. I think sometimes when you're more self-aware, it can help you rather than, you know, you get some people that know they're good players and then they try and do things that they're not good at doing. And they end up looking bad players just because they're not self-aware, you know? So, yeah, 100%.
Or even trying to do things that aren't necessarily appropriate in the game they're playing in. You know,
oh boy,
there's that old saying in it, play the game and not the occasion. And sometimes, you know, you just need to play 5-yard passes or just hold your position or give it to your wide man, whatever it is. But sometimes you've got to play that game, haven't you?
I think it's one of those. When you start trying to impress, you end up not impressing. And when you just play your normal game, like especially like, you know, when you get people like coming on trial and stuff and you see them, like I've seen so many people coming on trial and try so hard, and it's like they just do too much. You know, a manager would much rather see them play their normal game, get the ball, keep it moving, and then do the good stuff at the right time. You know, but that's, again, it's a very young men mindset where they think they've got to look. So like, you know, I was told when I was a youth team player, I used to be like, say play centre half at the time, just always ping diags all the time. That was one of my strengths. And sometimes what would happen is it wouldn't come off. So the next time I get the ball, I would try even harder to hit that pass, and then it wouldn't come off.
Yeah.
And then I get frustrated. And my man said to me at the time, he's like, look, if you make a mistake, don't worry about it, don't matter. But next time you get that ball, just play it 5 yards. He said, then what you'll do is when you get the ball and you play like 3 or 4 passes after you made that mistake, 5 yards, and you keep it simple, you'll just build your confidence back up. And then you'll get the ball, and then you hit that diag, or you hit that long ball, you hit that hard ball, and it'll come off. Because when you're trying so hard to make up for, say, an error that you've just made, like you're forcing something you're actually forcing it when it's maybe not on. And that was probably, mate, that's one of the biggest, best bits of advice I think I've ever had. And I'll pass that on to so many people. Literally, like, feel your way back into the game. Don't worry about it, not a problem. You got 90 minutes. So yeah, that was a massive thing. So 100% I agree with you on that. 100%.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, that reminds me of that film, the golf film, Tin Cup. You ever seen that?
No, I can't say.
Kevin Costner plays a golfer. Anyway,
I'm too young for
got
that.
a shot at the end of the tournament. He's got a chance to win the tournament.
Yeah.
Plays his shot, goes in the water, and he keeps trying to make the same shot. And he almost runs out of ball. Eventually, he makes a shot with his last ball left, but he's ruined himself in the.
A typical film that. Couldn't see that coming, could you? I mean, the only golf film that I know, mate, is Happy Gilmore. I don't know if that's a similar. That's a bit different.
That's a good one,
so yeah, but no, yeah, 100%.
Definitely. So as you say, like, you play centre half. I know this season you've kind of had more of a stint in midfield. Like, if you could mould a player to play with you, whether he's playing with you midfield or centre half, like, if you could say, right, this is the kind of person that I want to play with, like, what are they like? And have you got an example of someone you've played with that's like, I want them next?
If I'm playing centre half, like, listen, I'm 6'1", 6'2", but I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not big man mountain. So especially if I'm playing centre half, but I feel like me personally, I'm not being arrogant, but I feel like I understand the game really well. And I think that I can especially in non-league, I think I can outthink opponents and stuff, you know, just little things like as the ball comes into the striker, just that little nudge so his touch goes, you know, just real little details, like the cute side of the game. So, I mean, you've always probably looked at partnerships like Ferdinand and Vidic, Terry and Carvalho, you know, and you've always got a cultured defender and a ball playing defender with an absolute animal. So I would try to think that I take up the mold of, say, the cultured defender, and literally all like someone next to me to someone that's like big, strong, still mobile, especially moving forward now, that can still handle the football, but it's just that dominant figure, you know. So there was actually a lad, again, I'll go back to obviously non-league and stuff, but there's a lad at Bath called what's his name? Jack. What the hell? I forgot his name. How can I forget his name? I literally played with him.
Don't tag him in it.
No, I know. Jack Batten. His name's Jack Batten. Sorry, I had like Jack Baston, Jack Barton. I was thinking, no, that's not it. Jack Batten. And he was a bit smaller, but he was a bit bigger. And he come through at Bristol City. He wasn't slow, but he wasn't quick. He wasn't agile. But mate, any 50-50, any header, anything in the air, boom, boom, boom. Like he would never lose it. And he knew that his ability wasn't with the ball. So he was one of those, he'd give it to the left back, he'd give it to me, or he'd give it to his midfielder, and that's it, job done. And he was really good at the time when we played together. We kind of complemented each other quite well. So that type of person. In terms of the times when I played in like midfield, I'm someone, in a way, like, it depends. Like, if we play in nice, expansive football and get the ball, I like to drop in the hole, get on the ball, because pass is one of my best attributes, I think, and sort of try and be like that number 4 in a way. So I'm obviously looking at people that maybe are box-to-box midfielders or potentially creative ones. But then at the same time, like I said, when I played with James Harper, I played a couple games in midfield with him. It was so good because we were we're good mates and stuff now, and we were kind of thinking on the same sort of level. I know that if he was in one position, I'd take up another one. Then he would see if I'm in there, he would go somewhere else. So we was always quite well balanced in a way, and we just kind of like we played with each other and off each other. So the rotation was quite easy. Obviously, like with all respect, mate, the lower you go down, like the harder it is. I remember when I was in between two clubs at one point, and I went and played sort of Wessex League, which I don't know what that is. I think it's
Yeah,
like
step
combined
5.
counties your way, yeah.
Yeah.
And mate, I never forget. I played with one guy called Callum. Oh my god, we're playing 4-4-2, yeah. So this is even more important that you stay like your side. Imagine we got to throw in this side, yeah. I'm playing here, he's here, winger's here. So I'm here offering him the ball, mate. Before I know it, he's like this. And I'm like, if I turn out here, I've got no one in this area here to pass the ball to. So I spent 90 minutes. All I'd done was just balance off. So I'd be like this, he'd be here, he'd go like that, and I'd have to balance off. And I was like, I didn't get on the ball, but for the sake of the team, I had to just keep balancing off. And then like you try and tell these people these things, and they just don't listen, because he was someone that no real ability, but he was just he just ran and ran and ran and ran and ran. And it's a typical thing. People think if they see someone running around working hard, that they're playing well, but you're effectively just stupid. You're not running smart. You know, you're actually doing more than you need to do. When you can just keep your shape and just slide along, and it's so. But mate, yeah, that was tough. I come off that game and I was like, oh, I ain't ever doing this again.
Yeah.
Like, never. It was like 3 leagues below what obviously what I was playing and stuff, but I'd done it because I needed to tick over. It was local and I knew the manager, so I just needed to keep fit. So I was doing it for different reasons. Oh my god, never again, never again.
Right.
And I'm not trying to say that in a horrible way, because everyone has their levels, but the harder you go down, the lower you go down, the harder it is. My friends always used to say to me, what's the hardest game you play? They're thinking like when I played against Cardiff, Bristol City and stuff for the first team, and I was Bournemouth and that. And I'm like, nah, probably like last week when I played against like Staines or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, and they're like, how? And I'm like, because people just like, everyone's doing different things at the time. People aren't on the same level. Like everyone's understanding is different. People are in it for different reasons. Whereas when you're higher up, everyone's singing from the same hymn sheet. Everyone knows what everyone's doing. You make one movement, the whole team comes around. So it's so much easier. I think when you go higher, it's more about like your understanding of the game and your positioning and just like the real fine details and decision making. So yeah, like definitely from a centre half point of view, someone else big, strong, head it, you know what I mean? Do all that sort of dogged work that I ain't gonna do that. But I'm good in the air, but not like a big physical. You wouldn't see me and go, oh, don't want to play against him. You probably see me and go, oh yeah, go on, and I'll go compete against him.
Yeah.
And then you play, and then you know what I mean, you don't want to do it afterwards. But
yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, 100% for me. I don't know about yourself. Obviously, I've never seen you play. I've known you for a while, but I've never really seen you play. So I don't know whether you're on the shoulder, false 9, big target man. I mean, you look like a big target man, mate.
Well, when I was younger,
yeah,
that was kind of more. I would win a lot in the air, and I really enjoy that side of the game. But as soon as I went into men's football, you know, I'm 5'11", so that ain't really gonna work out.
No, that's not, so, especially at the level you play. I mean, you get some big brutes,
big guys. Yeah, so I enjoy it when I get the opportunity to kind of do that side of things. But no, not often. But I've always had a bit of pace. I wouldn't say I'm that quick anymore, but with a bit of pace. So if I've played with someone again similar, like you were saying, if you've got someone big and strong. So there's a lad called Michael Bartley I played up front with at Marlow, who won the league. But man, I was the one getting the goals all season.
There's a couple of minutes. So you got Marvin. Marvin was at Bournemouth when I was there. So Marvin was at Bournemouth when I was there. Mark obviously is manager, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously,
yeah. So Mark was our manager when we played, and mate, centre halves just wanted to wrestle with him.
So they end up
why, mate, because they never won it. They never won a single battle with him.
Like he almost takes 2 people out of the game and just allows you just to run on.
I had a season where I had the freedom of the penalty box. Like, it was such a we were such a good team, but it was one of my easiest seasons. The hardest part was training. Mark would get us running. You know, we would be freezing cold, right? Not on the pitch, or in the pen behind the goal doing circuits. That was the toughest part of that season, was training with them. But
it's just like the old sort of it's like the old sort of Emil Heskey, Michael Owen mold, isn't it? Really, in a way. And it even happened at Maidenhead. Guys I played at Braintree with also, we went to Maidenhead when the manager went to Maidenhead, and they had a big guy, Sean Marks, up front, and then you had Dave Tarpley off him. And literally, Marks is that big target man, slow as anything, a lovely, lovely guy. And he would just literally like occupy 2 defenders on his own. And then, like you said, like you had when you were saying about it then, is then Tarpey would just run off shoulders or would like just have the freedom. And he scored so many goals that year. And don't get me wrong, like Parks is a good player and stuff. Played with and played against him, and he reaped so much benefits, got so much exposure that year. But honest to God, he would never have done what he done without Marksy. And I think he knows that. And I think like, you know, anyone that sort of knows football understands that as well. So Marksy, I said to him as well, he was like, Casey, he's like, throughout my whole career, he goes, I reckon I've got about 6 players a move. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah. He goes, like, he started naming like Britt Asabolonga, Simeon Akinola, Dave Tarpey. He was like, mate, trust me, like, I do all the graft and they do all the glory and they get all the notice and they move on. But he said no one's taken me. But he don't mind. He's that kind of guy, you know.
That's the thing. Football's about partnerships, though, isn't it? I mean,
100%.
not the goalies, they're on their own, aren't they? But
fuck them. They got like goalkeepers union or whatever that is.
Look throughout the pitch. You know, it's partnerships everywhere, and that's where a lot of the success is. Like, rarely will someone do it all on their own, you know.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, people sometimes underestimate the bond off the pitch, how it brings it onto the pitch. My best mate come through at Bournemouth with him, a lad called Harrison Gilts. Unfortunately, he had to retire. Played for Slough, and we were best mates. So he played right side, I played right back, obviously at the time. And mate, it was so easy because you knew that you're going to work hard for each other anyway. And he just knew my game inside and out. So like I said to you the other day about if I got the ball right back and someone shut me down, I would want to play that ball around the corner. He would just know. So he would know. So he'd go, right, Casey, play that ball around the corner. So he would just be there. So it helps so much by having that good relationship and that good understanding. Yeah. It's why it's so important, I think. You know, you do get people, even though it's a profession and it's a job, you do get people that go, I don't like him, I ain't going to do that. Just because that's what some people are like. So 100%, and that's why you see so many teams that maybe aren't that great, even like a Sheffield United this year, maybe aren't that great as a football side, but their togetherness is so good that they work for each other and they help each other. And that actually sometimes outplays and outweighs the footballing part of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, 100% what you're saying is right. Partnerships are so important, I think.
Yeah, massively. Well, I've certainly noticed that when I've played against teams that are at higher levels, we've had like pre-season friendlies against them or cup games against them. Like ability-wise, and I'm only talking like kind of League and 2 above. Like ability-wise, you don't really notice the big difference. What you notice is how well organised the teams are.
Little movements off the ball.
Yeah, they tend to be more physical. They tend to be a bit quicker, a bit fitter, a bit stronger as well. But it's more how organised they are. And as you said, the movement off the ball. Everyone's
up there as well. Like that much quicker up there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like for example, not in a disrespectful way. Say if like my team in Conference South Conference come and say played Ascot, like not you lot could be fitter than us, for example, but like because of the level we play and it asks you for different things, you have to think quicker. Naturally, we're going to be quicker, sort of up there. So like sometimes it's not even about ability. It's like it's all here, and that comes down to the way you move, the type of pass you do. Everything that you do essentially comes from your brain. Football is played with your head, and you then just do those actions with your feet, you know. And I think that's where people either stay or they progress, depending on that understanding. And I think some people, don't get me wrong, have got no clue, but they just got some natural sheer pace or strength. Or we had a lad at Dulwich this year. He ain't gonna watch this, so I don't mind. A guy called Ade Youssef, great guy, backed himself, so confident. Never come across anyone more confident. Not really like got a brain in terms of football, but he'll tell you he has. But he don't.
We all play with players like that.
But mate, he was like bang, like physically very strong. He was rapid. He was powerful, and he was just an absolute handful for so many players. But then you see him do like something, you're like, what are you doing? Like just crazy stuff. But then because he did have that sheer physicality side to him, he done well. But I think that only gets you to a certain level, and then you have to start having that understanding. I think that's where some people can get limited sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, 100%.
I remember playing against this kid. It was a pre-season friendly. I can't remember the team now, but it was a team. Is either Southern Prem or Conference South at the time.
Yeah.
One of the quickest kids I've ever seen, but You know, like when you're playing FIFA and your controller gets stuck and your mate just runs
Yeah.
to play. Yeah.
Nah.
It was like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it just every now and again you knew he'd get in and he'd get it right and he'd be able to score. But
Yeah.
he didn't really have any real kind of technical ability. But the pace on him, you could tell he was in the side purely just on his pace because
Oh, mate. Listen, like, I think we've all come across something like that. Again, like, I know I'm referring back to it, but again, another one of my good friends who come through youth team stuff at Bournemouth with, and mate, he technically, like, he's my best mate. Yeah, I tell him all the time. Like, technically, shocking, like so bad. But I've never seen anyone so quick. Like, I can't even count the amount of goalkeepers he's absolutely ruined in a tackle. Because where like most players would never make the ball, he makes that like ball that most players would be like 80% goalkeeper, 20% striker. He makes that 50% keeper, 50% striker, and mate, he's scored some good goals. Don't get me wrong, but he scored some goals. Yeah, where you just like, oh my god, I feel so sorry for the keeper. And I got into science. So where Harrison is coaching at the moment at Tadley, and they were like, we need a striker. I said, look, get Clive in. And he was like, no, I don't want to do it. He's a mate. And I said, no, listen, just get Clive in. His pace alone will score goals at this level. He's like, so eventually they've done it. And we told the manager, both me and Harrison told the manager, yeah, we said, listen, rapid, will work hard. Technically, don't expect much from him. And I said, but he will end a couple of goalkeepers' careers, right? I kid you not, a minute and a half into his debut, he's absolutely snapped a keeper in a 50-50, right? Keeper's gone off injured. 20 minutes later, I scored his goal. They won 1-0. And like, I remember being at the game, so it was on a Tuesday night, so I went and watched. Oh, mate, I was just laughing my head off because I just knew it had happened. And he just done it on his first game. And then I looked at Harrison, who was up doing the recording, and I was looking for the manager and just started laughing. But it was just such a typical thing for him to do. But yeah, you do get some people that are just blessed with that sort of sheer pace, really. But no, mate, yeah, it's funny. It is funny. But there are players out there that are like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he cracks me up. He will watch this and he goes, yeah, that's right.
Hands off.
Oh, brilliant.
So what are you doing training wise right now? Keep yourself fit and up.
Yeah, man. So I was training before lockdown officially went in. I was training with a lad called Mikey Saunders, who unfortunately just been let go by Southampton. Unbelievable ability, but got let go because basically they had signed a lot of players for money and they couldn't promise in the game time. But they were like, but you've done really well for us. And in hindsight, another year we would have given you a pro. So just politics again, like, you know, there is in football. So we were training together because he'd been out to Nashville in America in the MLS and stuff, just training because we know the assistant manager out there. So he come back because obviously the virus and stuff, he had to come back. And then we were training together every day, like loads of 1v1s, me defending, him attacking, loads of short, sharp stuff. I'm not an advocate for ladders, cones, poles, hurdles, like all these things where you just say, here, do this through them ladders, do this, because one, they're not football movements. Two, in football, you always, in my opinion, it's true, you always react to a stimulus. And when you just got a straightforward ladder, you haven't got to think, you haven't got to react, you just got to move your feet in a pretty little pattern, quick as you can all the way through. So for me, I just don't think it relates to football whatsoever. And that's the way I've been brought up, kind of in that sort of foreign culture in a way. So we was getting together, like I said, doing loads and loads of stuff, and I try to put that onto the academy boys that we've got. So originally we was doing that. Lockdown happened. I was still going out. There's a field literally at the back of my house. I was still going out training every day on my own. Like a good sort of solid hour and a half, sharp stuff, sprints, nothing like long distance, just loads of short, sharp things really. Keeping ball work and without the ball. Done that for about 3 weeks, and then it gets hard because obviously where you're working an hour and a half solidly on your own and it's short and sharp, mate, the legs take an absolute battering. You probably probably get through more work doing that than you would a normal training session. You think like a normal training session, even if you're doing a keep ball, you ain't got the ball all the time, or you're not necessarily involved. So you might be walking, you might be jogging. It's not high intense. So kind of come off it for a little bit, and just started doing sort of like hit sessions at home. Just doing like loads of core work with the bands and stuff like that. Not like typical abs and everything, but like inner core stuff. And then I just started doing, obviously I'm still training like now, but not doing it every day. And then started doing like running. I hate running. I'm so good at running, but I hate it. And then just like I got a spin bike at home, so just a mixture between sort of the spin bike. So like I said to you earlier, before we come on here, I went out, I done 1 minute walk, 2 minute run. Just continued that for half an hour. So essentially you're walking for 10 minutes and you're running for 20. I think I got in like sort of 6.5K, I think it was. I think I done my 5K time in 19 minutes, 13 seconds just before. People are like, that's great. I'm like, no, that's 13 seconds. I could have smashed in the 19, but that's just sort of me. But yeah, so I've just been kind of like ticking all the different kind of boxes really. Trying to improve obviously with and without the ball. Still doing some stuff, even if it's just kicking the ball against the wall, just keeping my feet used to having that ball at the feet and stuff. And then just like smashing like sort of home workouts, home hit sessions, home gym sessions. And yeah, just running and just trying to mix it up really, rather than just keep it the same sort of routine, just mix it up. So that's sort of what I've been doing really, personally. You do get bad days and hard days and stuff, but you just got to get through it. They're the days that are so important that you get through and you just get your head down, you just grind through it. Because they're the ones where if you don't do it, you'll just stop and you'll get into a rut. So I try to do everything, something literally like every day. So I'm quite blessed, I think, with my sort of mentality on that. I think there's a lot of people that aren't. I spoke to one of my teammates, and he was like, I said to him, "What are you doing?" He goes, I rang him, FaceTimed him. No, do you ever hear that app called House Party?
Yeah.
So you got House Party on, and you had me and that James Mully guy from the Hangout was on it. A guy called Dean Inman, and a guy called Christian Smith, and me and Mully were like kitted up like gym, like as if we were going like gym or work out. Dino's at work, smudges in, like dressing gown on, hood up, like sat there with a controller, just absolutely chilling, like just playing the PS4. And Dino was like, he goes, look, we've got two types of people in this world. He goes, you've got Casey and Mully out about to get a sweat on and staying fit and all the rest of it. He goes, you got Smudge just sat there hibernating away, eating God knows what and playing the PS4. And it cracked me up. But it's good though, because everyone's an influence on each other. So after that, he actually got off his backside and got sort of sorted, and he's been doing a bit of work since. So, and everyone, even on like social media stuff, people are always sharing what their goals are. So when I smashed my 5K in 19 minutes 13, a friend of mine who's not a friend as such, but someone I know and I briefly played with, is a guy at Luton, and I see it, and he was like 18 minutes 13, and I was like, what? But now I'm like, I have to beat that, or I have to get to that level. Mm-hmm. So in a way, like during the time where everyone's sort of secluded and stuff, I feel like you can still push each other, and do you know what I mean? And still give each other motivation, which I think has been really good. I think like even just a generic person's done that with this whole C5, do 5, nominate 5. Mate, so many people are out at the moment running 5K, and I know they're donating to charities all for a good cause and stuff, but like that's because people are motivating and pushing each other to do. Oh, sorry, my watch has gone on. To do that and to do that, do you know what I mean? So I think actually it's, in a way, it's kind of been like a good thing.
Yeah.
What's been going on? Not what's been going on, but like the lockdown side of it. There is a positive side to it.
There's a lot of good that you can kind of make out of any situation you're in. It's obviously not an ideal situation, and what's going on is very difficult for a lot of people. But
100%.
Most of us are in lockdown. We've got an opportunity to do something that we've never
had time for.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like in terms of I know if you look at like the pro guys, particularly at the elite level of the game, they'll have all their home gyms, home workout kit, etc. But now we've got the same time and basically the same equipment as most of the other pros, so we can train as often as them.
They do. Yeah, 100%.
Like you said, you're in contact with a guy playing pro, a good level pro as well, and you're chasing his tail with regards to your 5K time. And what will that do for your game if you can catch up that time?
Just that boy, just take up athletics.
Let alone anything else, right? But if you can imagine, you can cover that extra distance.
Like 100%. Because I spoke to my friend, and I said because we know him, we both know him, and I was like, boy, I said, I've done it in 1913. I said, I thought it was decent. Like, a lot of people are like doing it like 25, 26, 30. And I thought, I smashed them by like 6 minutes. Like, that's decent. Even like a lot of footballers are doing it like 21.
Mm.
So I was like, yeah, decent. And then I went, but mate, did you see that Harry done it in 18 minutes? And he went, yeah. And he went, but he goes, I think Harry would be in like the top 5 runners of the whole of England in terms of like footballers. And I was like, because he was he's one of those, yeah. He's rapid, but he can run. Like, in terms of like, he's fit as well. You don't tend to get that. You tend to get like people that are really quick, but they can't run like long distance or whatever.
Yeah.
Or the other way around, that aren't necessarily as quick that they can run. But he's one of those special breeds that you can do both. But like you said, 100%, like you can, this time, and I said to so many people, I think what will get people through this time is their mindset and how they approach things. If you just sit here and focus on all the bad that's going on and the negativity and everything else, I said, like, you're going to struggle to get through it. And don't get me wrong, like, be aware, you need to be aware of it, and everyone's going to go through a hard time. You know, unfortunately, a family friend of mine passed only a couple of days ago because of the virus. But even though I spoke to their direct family and I said, look, I know it's tough, but it's the way you look at it now is what's going to help you get through it. We can either sit there and you can obviously, like, naturally, everyone's going to grieve in a different way and stuff, but you have to look at this now. And so many, like hundreds and hundreds from all over the world, people got in touch with like testimonials about this guy. And I said, that's what you need to focus on. And you need to take comfort and pride and sort of happiness in just how many people's lives that he touched, and in a positive way. Mm-hmm. And, you know, celebrate the life that he did have, although, yes, it was it was shortened for unfortunate reasons. And I feel like, me personally, I feel like that's just how you get through it. And same with this. Look at things like I said to people when I was talking to like my academy boys, parents stuff. I said, like, obviously a lot of them are moaning, I'm in lockdown, I can't go out, I can't go to the pub, I can't go to football, I can't do this, I can't do that. Okay, no, but what you can do is you can spend time with a family that you've never, ever been able to do. You can invest your time in maybe a new language or something that you've always thought, oh, I'd love to do that, but I never have time, and stuff like that. Like, so you've actually got so much time now to invest in yourself so that when you come out of this lockdown, you are so much even more well-educated, fitter, or your family environment's in a much better place and stuff like that. There's so many things that can come out of this in a positive light. Yes, unfortunately, it is horrible that's what's going on. I know they're saying about May the 7th, we're looking at maybe coming out of lockdown. I don't think that's a smart idea, personally. You see it with China at the moment, that they've come out of lockdown and then a couple of days later, they've already got cases again. But there's never, ever in our lives are we ever going to get a period like this again, where you've got every day, some people are working, some people aren't, but you're at home and you've got all the time in the world to do whatever it is you want to do. Yeah. So it's one of those, you need to utilize that time, you know, rather than sort of sit around, be lazy, watch TV, do that. That's not going to make you better. That's not going to educate you. That's not going to push you to be more successful. You know, that's not going to give you a better life. That's, you know, something that's just going to keep you in the mundane routine that you're in every day. So I think, yeah, it is really important. And I think mindset is a very, very big thing into even just general life. So, and I think even for someone like yourself as well, where you're seeing so many people on a regular basis regarding like injuries and stuff like that, mindset is so crucial, so crucial.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, that's kind of like my view, and everyone's different, but that's what I've sort of said, really.
Yeah, I think in simple terms, it is very much focus on what you can do and try not to worry about things that you can't do. Certainly don't dwell on them.
I think, yeah, be aware, you know, but don't be consumed by it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
absolutely. Yeah. On the note of injuries, so that's kind of where I've left off of my training. Is I've been so I had an ankle injury. First tackle of the season. Well, the ankles are normally good, but yeah, first tackle of the season. Some big lad.
No names. Don't be shy.
Yeah. So, yeah. First ankle injury I've ever had. So I've been rehabbing that. But the positive from that is I was due to play a game the following Tuesday when it got like shut down. I was due to come back. And being honest with you, the ankle weren't ready. Yeah. I was doing a training session and I controlled the ball with the outside of my foot. Like something you don't even think about, right? struggle with it outside your foot to carry on dribbling, mate, it might as well have been a 2-foot tackle. My ankle just
Oh my
went.
God.
So yeah, so it's given me time to work on that. So the ankle's getting stronger. So that's good. And I've just started running this week, which again, I'm one of those that if I can do like short, sharp bursts, I'm happy. I can do that all day. But
Yeah, 100%.
the constant, just yeah.
Yeah, you need to be careful as well. So I know you'll know it anyway. But if there's people that are watching or whatever, especially if you're coming back from injuries like that, you want to be careful, because if you're just constantly compounding and pounding and pounding on concrete, it's not going to do it any good. You know, like it's same with me. Obviously, I had my meniscus issue. Yeah. If I had to run on a 3G or concrete like road or pavement in the first year after it, mate, my knee would just go boom. Obviously, it's not too bad now. It still might stiffen up every now and again, like rare, but there's a lot more that you've got to be cautious of when obviously you come back from injuries. So, like I said, like obviously. So,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it's again, talking about opportunities, like we can work on our weaknesses now, like things that have been like nagging us for a little bit. So, with regards to you with your knee, me with my ankle, it's we can get it stronger than we've had an opportunity to get it strong, because we don't have to worry about a game Saturday, or a training session first.
Yeah. So you haven't got to necessarily have your muscles and that all firing ready. Like you can almost smash them, fatigue them, keep fatiguing them, to make sure that they build stronger, rather than, like you said, you have to gear up and make sure that come Saturday your legs are fresh. And 100%.
And also learning good movement habits. There'll be reasons why you kind of pick up injuries from repetitive movements as well. So actually, I'm going to do a post this week. There's a company called Move You, and they do a lot of like Instagram stuff. And one of their drills, they get you to draw a line down your Achilles. And then you just have a look at your foot mechanics. So first of all, see how you're standing, but then what you like when you're walking on the spot, when you're jumping and landing, etc.
Yeah, I had when I done my knee and stuff, and I come back and I thought, I feel good and stuff like that. I went to a biomechanics coach before I met you, mate. So don't worry. Yeah. I went to and he got me on a treadmill, and he was like, "Go on, run on that treadmill." So I was like, "All right, no worries." Obviously, he's videoing from behind and stuff, and it's amazing. And I was running, and he was like, "How'd you feel?" I was like, "I feel good." He's like, "How'd you feel like your running is? Like, do you feel smooth?" And bear in mind, I knew he was watching me, so I was like trying to make sure my running was smooth as well. And I was like, I feel good, like I feel strong, like I feel smooth. So okay, cool. Video from the side as well, carried on, same thing. And then it's come off, and he showed me, obviously, he slowed it right down and stuff. And he said, right, there's that line, smack bang in the middle. He said, when you plant your left foot, your hips drop.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then we went to the side one. And he went, when your right knee comes through, look at how far your knee comes through. Then when it comes back down, look at how high your heel gets, and look at that motion. I said, yeah. He went, right, now look at your left knee. My left knee wasn't coming up as through as far or as high, and my heel wasn't coming up. So obviously then, and he was like, so your biomechanics are a bit all over the place at the moment. So I was like, wow, like, didn't even notice. So I was like, okay. So obviously my right leg's doing a hell of a lot more. So I'm not even maximizing the speed that I could produce, because my biomechanics are wrong. So he then got us on a mat. I don't know if you've ever come across a mat. It's like you got, like, say it's a mat. You got one here, one there, one there, and then you got diagonals and stuff. You start in the middle. It's just quick feet back and forwards and overnight. It's like it's a coordination thing. Yeah. So obviously I was doing that, and then obviously he was like, right, do this. Absolute blow. I've actually got the videos on my phone. I can show you when we get off here. But and then he was like, right, I want you to do single leg squats. You're gonna do 20. You can do like 20 on each leg, and you do 3. And I was doing this, and then he showed me some like backwards walk, like crab walking on the treadmill and stuff, just to really like engage my my quads. He was like, do that every day. I was like, every day? He's like, yep, every day. And he went, and that there will naturally start sorting your biomechanics and stuff out, because you'll get stronger. You'll start activating muscles. Your coordination will be better. Like, you almost have to start from scratch, because when you get injured and stuff, it's not when you grow, your coordination, everything goes. So I was like, right, okay, cool. and obviously went on, cracked on with doing that, and actually put, like I said, it's put me in such a better place now. And now I feel a lot quicker, a lot sharper, and stuff when I move, just from not even like weights, not even all that stuff, but just fixing my coordination and my biomechanics. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't say they're 100% back to where they should be now, but it takes time, you know. So yeah, it's amazing though. Like you might not feel that you're struggling, but that's why obviously you got to video it, and even if you watch it full time, you probably wouldn't see it, and then that's why you got to slow it down and stuff like that. So, and this guy, mate, runs out of, I kid you not, probably a room that's probably 8 feet wide, 10 feet long, and all he's got in there is a mat and a treadmill, and he is chock-a-block busy from 7 in the morning to like 8 at night. Half-hour slot or an hour slot, mate. That's unreal. That's like just the bare minimum equipment you need, and you can do so much. So, no, yeah, it is good. It's called it's the running school up in it's up in Eastleigh. So, yeah, 100%, 100% agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's the thing. If you're, the terms we use is like if you're not stacked up correctly. So, you know, imagine trying to build a house on 40 foundations. Like it might last a little while, but it's going to fall down eventually, you know.
Yeah, and that's when, like you said, you get your re-injuries and stuff like that as well. And even, you know, my original injury on my left side, I won't get injured again on my left side. I get injured on my right side because my right side is overworking. You know, so but a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people understand that or even aware of that sort of stuff.
Well, like you said, when you're doing your running, you felt you were running all right, and we all feel like we're running all right. You know, that when I'll give you an example. When I play golf, like I feel like I swing the golf club like Tiger Woods, and I watch the video back, and I tell you, I ain't swinging the golf club like Tiger Woods.
Do you ever do that thing where you act like you think, come through, come right, and it goes, whoop, and I'm like, I've made like a good connection with that, and it's just gone like that, and I'm like, what the hell? I stick to Top Golf, mate. That's about as far as I go.
That's the thing, like our movement, like we are not the best judges of our own movement. Like you need that kind of outside perspective as well. And yeah, I mean, if you can kind of be more aware of how you're moving, fine tune those kind of like mechanical issues that you've got, the less chance you're gonna have of getting injured. That's for sure.
Yeah, but then at the same time, you the more chance you have of maximizing the strength and the power that you possess as well. So it can make such a big difference.
Well,
100%.
We're basically a self-preservation unit, right? So our bodies will protect ourselves.
Yeah.
If we don't need to protect anything, then we'll go into performance mode, and that's when you really start to see some amazing things with your body. You know, like you see some people, some athletes that you just I have no idea how on earth they're running like that, or moving like that. Mo Farah's a good example of his running. Like if you look at his gait when he's running, like look how easy and effort. Like, if we were to run like that, like we'd last a few seconds and then we'd blow out. But he's not fighting against anything. He's not trying to protect anything. It's just almost cyclical, you know, and that's why I could perform at the high level he's got. And I'm sure he'll have his aches and pains and niggles, etc. But because he's not.
I don't know, mate. When you run a marathon, I think it's all right. Wake up next day, feel fresh as a daisy.
No, I wouldn't know.
But me either, mate. It's not something. It's something that I might try and do like one day, but not anytime soon, mate. I can't lie to you.
Yeah.
Not anytime soon.
So that's why I'm still playing football. Because I said maybe when I retire, so I'm like, I'm gonna drag out another season and do that race. So
entry about 50. Because I ain't gonna do a marathon.
I'll let you, mate. Well, I'll let you go. Good chatting to you. And
you, mate.
We'll have another catch up soon, and we'll see if we can get some of these players we talked about. See if we can get them on the.
I'll speak to it'd be interesting because obviously we're finishing off with in regards to injuries and stuff. Let me speak to Harrison because I'm hoping he's okay to talk about it now. But obviously he's someone that he's had to transition from playing to managing at literally the age of 25. Or coaching because obviously he had to retire and stuff. So it'd be good if we like maybe the next one is the sole focus is around sort of injuries and the mental side of it, as